Oh, good afternoon. So I just had a wonderful experience with my 91 Jeep Cherokee. Now, if you've been following it all, I've done a ton of work on this Jeep. And sometimes I get frustrated with it. Anyhow, I'm on a beach in Washington State. And I was hanging out, watching the waves, and turned my Jeep off just to kind of hang out and meditate. Well, I turned the key forward and nothing happened. My key got stuck in the ignition, and I had to turn it back and then pull the key out while I was turning it. And I'm like, well, that's weird. And I turn all the way forward, nothing. All the accessories turn on, but it doesn't start. So I was like, okay, well, my ignition's dead. And not that my starter's dead, or the Jeep won't run, because it's running now. But my ignition cylinder lock is junk. So the reason I found that out is I got the key to turn forward, and I went under the hood and I used the starter relay, because on my Jeep I have the cap ripped off of it, so I can just press it together and it'll work. So if you're in this situation where your ignition doesn't work, you can go under there, take the cap off your relay, just rip it off, and it's little square blocks, and it'll say starter there. Take that box, take your knife or your flathead screwdriver or razor blade, and you work at it, and you pry the top of that box off, and there'll be a coil in there and a little sidebar that you can press, and you turn your ignition to the on. You go press that together and it'll start up. So now I get to spend the rest of my weekend starting my Jeep from under the hood. But that's okay, because I'm not stranded and I didn't have to call anybody. And it didn't cost me any money. Not yet. It's going to when I order the new lock. So I will probably end up ordering a new... I put that on there wrong? Well, maybe I put that on there. No, maybe not. There we go. Perfect. So I will probably end up ordering an ignition key set and door locks. Hopefully I can find that. These old vehicles, and especially these Jeeps, they're either really expensive or they're getting hard to find. Mine is a pre-95. In 95 they changed a bunch of things. They went to an OBD2. They changed the steering column, and they also changed the door locks to a different style. So all of that on the newer Jeeps after 95 and after have been changed. Mine's a pre-95. It's a 91. And 91 was another year that they changed a bunch of stuff, mostly under the hood. 90, 91. So I like this year. I like the 91s. It's real simple, but it still has the high output engine. But it's old and it's kind of falling apart. So because it's old and falling apart, I get to fix it. And I don't mind doing that, even though it's frustrating sometimes. So, but I keep telling myself it's an old vehicle. It's just the way it's going to be. So, anyhow, if you find yourself stuck in your pre-95 Jeep Cherokee or Wrangler, they have the same steering column, turn your ignition key all the way forward until the accessories come on. Go under your hood, pop open your relay box. There's a couple fuses in there, but it's mostly relays. You can take apart your starter relay, press those two things together on the inside, and it should start. If it doesn't, that relay is probably junk. I have two relays under mine that both have the tops ripped off. Just because, like, when I'm working under the hood, I don't want to run back and forth to the ignition to turn it on and off. I like to be able to have that option underneath the hood to just press it together and crank the engine over. Really helps with doing compression check or any other kind of check, because you're right there under the hood and you can turn it over from underneath the hood instead of having someone sit in the driver's seat and turn the key, or having to run back and forth. And it's really hard to actually watch the engine or do anything under there while you're cranking it over. So that's another reason I have it like that. There's another YouTuber out there who does the same thing and is a lot like myself. I learned a lot from him, and I'm not ashamed to say that I've learned things from other people. Because if there weren't other people, I'd have to figure it out myself, and sometimes that's difficult to figure it out yourself. Sometimes it's more fun to figure it out yourself. So, anyway, I'm going to title this thing something simple, preferably something people can find. So, if you find this video, it's because you Googled it, and